To mask or not to mask on public transport. It's not mandatory, but is strongly recommended. And on day one of the new rules, it was largely ignored.
Very disappointing. I think more people should be wearing masks. We've become too complacent.
Maybe 1 in 30 was wearing a mask, and of those, mainly older people.
Even I didn't realise I was supposed to, well, it's not mandatory, but I will wear a mask if necessary. Yeah.
They are required, though, at beauty salons and hairdressers.
I think everyone happy to do what we need to do.
And masks must be worn in hospitals and aged care homes, but it was revealed today other aged care restrictions are now linked to vaccination rates. If 70% of residents are vaccinated, there's no limit on visitors. Almost 90% of South Australian facilities fall into that category.
And that's just as an example of where we're moving to nationally and also in South Australia, that if we know we've got high rates of vaccination, we can just make different decisions.
But authorities are nowhere near knowing yet what magic vaccination rate would prevent a lockdown. Of greater concern right now, the infectious nature of this latest strain. That's why SA has these preemptive restrictions, even with no new cases today. The situation worsening in other parts of the country. Much of Queensland just entered a snap 3-day lockdown after an unvaccinated casual hospital worker tested positive today. Sydney's outbreak grew by 19 cases on day 4 of that city's lockdown. 2 new cases were picked up in the Northern Territory, with Darwin's lockdown already extended to the end of the week. And Perth is now locked down for 4 days.
We think we've got the balance right. We think by taking these proactive steps, we'll keep a lockdown at bay from South Australia.
QR codes are part of that effort, with around 1.6 million check-ins in SA every day. They're still at the level achieved by a SAPOL compliance blitz last month, and there were long lines at COVID testing stations across the state today. 8,300 South Australians swabbed yesterday.
The vast majority of those were South Australians who had some symptoms, as opposed to people coming from Victoria and requiring the test. So again, that was very pleasing to me.